Unfortunately, these isms may be false options on yet another level, because for decades now our country might best be defined as fascist. This is rooted in the comprehensive corporate influence on the most important functions of government, and controlling both candidates in a single-party state. It might also be defined as a plutocracy or corpocracy or corporatocracy. Whatever it is, it has emerged very clearly now. And I also find it bizarre that there's such passion for any of these existing economic systems, as we have seen examples of all of them producing failed states, and when implemented inappropriately. Bringing us back to my focus on quality over quantity. Our capitalist experiment has only been going on for just a few hundred years, and the current incarnation of this crazed crony capitalism has only dominated the last 3 decades. Our form of capitalism has been incentivized by selfish wealth maximization without regard to externalities, while providing amazing technological advances with potential for enormous benefits for our species in the long run. But the jury's still out due to all of our pollution, loss of biodiversity, food monocultures, unregulated GMOs, and nuclear and biological weapons industries. But at least we've got record high wealth disparities. The final problem I have with these false options is that capitalism and socialism don't seem to be mutually exclusive. As Noam Chomsky says, there's no reason businesses cannot be managed democratically, controlled by their workers and community, and compete with other businesses managed the same way and other ways. But there are other ways to improve the capitalism formula without even giving up that those typical management hierarchies of today's world. Social businesses and new capitalism. One of my dad's core mantras I've adopted is about looking for the right questions to ask. Despite Chomsky's blind spots and or self-censoring on select topics, he is of course brilliant and inspiring, and he is a relatively early influence on my worldview. I really like his approach on this.
We don't have capitalism. There's nothing remotely like it. We have various varieties of state capitalism, including the USSR. That was one variety of state capitalism, was based on wage labor, on management control, central coordination of production. In fact, it's in many ways very much like corporate capitalism, just this different kind of organization. So of the various kinds of state capitalism that are around, which are the best? I don't honestly think that's the kind of question we should be asking. Like in the suppose you're in the 18th century, should you be asking which is the best kind of feudalism? I mean, that's all there was, you know. So which is the best kind of feudalism and slavery and monarchy and so on and so forth? It just wasn't the right question. I mean, the right question is there something better, like, say, parliamentary democracy, even though there were no examples of it. And there were seeds of it, but there were no functioning examples. I mean, seeds of it had been developed and usually crushed, as in England. But these were legitimate struggles. And, you know, they succeeded. I mean, by now you have parliamentary democracies, which aren't fantastic, but are better than feudalism.
So suppose you're in the 21st century. What is the best kind of capitalism? What is the best kind of socialism? Is capitalism better than socialism, or vice versa? Why are we limited to these options? Currently, businesses think they must only compete by maximizing profits in ways which are very selfish and short-sighted. But this is just how we've been taught to play, and it is what consumers have been taught to buy. Businesses used to be thought of as helpful members of their communities, not psychopaths. If you haven't yet, please watch the 2003 film titled The Corporation. Capitalism is very flexible, and we must stop supporting large-scale businesses which make themselves legally bound to maximize profits for shareholders, no matter the side effects. We must support businesses which try to maximize benefits for all dimensions of human life. But customers and investors must take more initiative to carefully vote daily with their dollars, for social benefit maximizing businesses which show enough conscience to mitigate their externalities, while providing the world beneficial products and services. In the new capitalism paradigm, the companies which provide the most net social benefit will also be the most profitable. Let me repeat that. In the new capitalism paradigm, the companies which provide the most net social benefit will also be the most profitable. The social business model of maximizing social benefit is a marvelous idea championed by Muhammad Yunus. Yunus pioneered the potentially world-saving concept of microcredit when starting Grameen Bank in Bangladesh in 1976, which is credited for bringing millions out of poverty. Wikipedia describes the Grameen Bank as, quote, a microfinance organization and community development bank that makes small loans, known as microcredit or Grameen credit, to the impoverished without requiring collateral. The system of this bank is based on the idea that the poor have skills that are underutilized. A group-based credit approach is applied which utilizes the peer pressure within the group to ensure the borrowers follow through and use caution in conducting their financial affairs with strict discipline, ensuring repayment eventually and allowing the borrower to develop good credit standing. End quote. I will discuss microcredit more in a future episode on how and why we should end the Federal Reserve. And I strongly recommend you explore this concept and this beautiful human much more. But here's a quick excerpt to whet your appetite.
Fora TV, the world is thinking.
My appeal is, if to justify the totality of human being, we need to have two kinds of business, at least two kinds of business. A business which centers around me, that's a profit maximizing business. It's all about me. I want to make money. And the other business is kind of a reverse of it. It's all about others, nothing about me. That I'm calling social business. Business to do good to people, to do good to the planet, without any intention of financially benefiting out of it. And if you feel that urge, you can create that company. If we insert that concept into the economic theory, the whole economy becomes different. We can create social businesses in many, many directions. We have created in Grameen, we have created some social businesses to demonstrate that, again by demonstration. One became very popular example is a company that we created called Grameen Danone Company. It's a Danone of France, which is a popular, you eat their yogurt almost all the time. You like it, I like it. Whole world likes it. So we created Grameen Danone Company in Bangladesh, a joint venture, as a social business. We told Danone, as a social business, you will never get any dividend out of this company. And we will never take any dividend out of this company. But the company will make money, will make profit, profit will stay with the company. As investors, we can take back whatever money we have invested, nothing more than that. Because this company is dedicated to a social purpose. What is the social purpose? There are millions of malnourished children in Bangladesh, like many other countries, because poor people cannot afford to feed the right kind of diet to their children, so they become malnourished. Whatever micronutrients are missing in those children, we put it into this yogurt. Vitamin, iron, zinc, iodine, whatever. And it becomes a fortified yogurt. And make it very cheap, so that every poor child can afford to buy this. It doesn't cost them anything. And then they will regain the health. The more children regain health, the better successful the company becomes. Because company's bottom line is how many children are coming out of malnutrition. That's the bottom line. Unlike the bottom line of profit maximizing company? What is your return per investment? What is the profit you are making? So you reverse that thing. So in this social business, you don't talk about how much you make, because you don't make anything. That's how you designed it. Your objective is to address those things. Now, because it became popular, another company, another French company, Veolia, is a water company, is again a big water company. They want to have a social business with us. We proposed to them, why don't we bring safe drinking water in the villages of Bangladesh where people are drinking arsenic-contaminated water, all over Bangladesh, and nobody can help them. So we said we can have a water company, water which is so affordable that everybody can drink that water, and the company covers its cost, and we solve the problem. So we can address any social problem. Healthcare is a big problem. 47 million people in this country don't have health insurance. And I said this could be an excellent social business to run, because profit maximizing companies don't go there because they will not make that kind of brilliant profit out of it. So they go someplace else. So this would be a good subject for social business. And you look at all the things, like, for example, there are many serious diseases in the world for which vaccines are already there. It's invented, it's designed, it's all there. But no pharmaceutical company produces it, because you don't make money. These are the poor people's diseases. They can't pay. What kind of world is this? Should we leave everything to the decisions of the profit maximizers so that their benefit is what decides the world? Or there's something else to bring in? That's the basic question.
This general concept of a social business is also finally catching hold in America. Eunice was just last year awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Barack Obama, and a few test runs of similar microcredit banks are finally being started up in America.